Okay, so here's the beginning of making a custom spoiler, ducktail spoiler. So I put the plastic down, taped it down the best as I could, and then kind of pried it up along the end. All these can come off, and see the tape just comes right off. So then we get the initial shape, and we're gonna do something with it. So yeah, so we're gonna make a custom little mold for the rear of my for the rear of the car. I kind of got an idea. I want to make it a little more kind of a modern, a little more modern look, a little more aggressive. So that's the initial stage of it. So now we gotta take everything off and just get down to the fiberglass, and we can work with some ideas here. It's kind of funny to look at it parked in a parking lot, how small that car really is. You just kind of see it's tiny. Anyway, that's all I got. Okay, we're gonna play with some clay. I'm gonna form up my spoiler here. This is part of my spoiler video. What first I'm gonna do is I already made the mold, but now I'm just gonna kind of cut it to where it's nice and straight, you know, along here and along there. That way I just got that nice little, you know, lip here. I have to take that, grind that down just a little bit where it's stuck up, but the rest will be okay for what I'm doing, because we're just getting the initial shape. And then what I'll do is I'll put another fiberglass over the clay, and then that way I'll make my mold, because I want my spoiler to come up a little bit. So that's why I'm using clay. That way I can kind of clay it in and get a rough idea on how I want to do this, and that way I can get a visual. So first things first, I'm going to kind of, like I said, cut, make it nice and straight, flat along the edges, a little bit easier to work with, not so ugly, and then we'll get to the clay. Okay, so there's my initial shape. So that's kind of what I'm kind of want to go for. Brings it up just, like I said, about an inch or whatever. So now I'm going to get a little bit of water in a bucket and really start smoothing out that clay. So you can kind of see it gives that little more just aggressive look. So, and then we'll do the measurements and everything from there, but I need to smooth it out a little bit further. You know, I just kind of plopped it on there right now just to kind of get the initial shape. So now we'll get a bucket of water and smooth it out. Okay, so remember, I'm just doing the initial shape because I'm not very good with clay. I mean, it is what it is, but I'm just getting the initial shape. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fiberglass over the top of it and make another mold. And then I can go in and shape the fiberglass better than I could ever could this clay. So I just need to keep molding it. And what you're doing is you're just keeping your hands moist. You're not putting a little water, tons of water on the clay. You're just keeping your hands moist as you move it along, and then that way it smooths it out. But you can kind of see the direction I'm going with on it. So you can kind of see what I'm doing there, and I want to bring it up a little bit to have a little bit of thickness in there. So that's basically what I'm doing. I'm just trying to get it to where I think it's going to look good. So anyway, that's what I'm planning on. Okay. keep your hands wet. And like I said, you just can go back and forth and do your little forming just little by little until you kind of just get that basic form. So and then once you get kind of this basic form, I'm going to take this ruler I got, this yardstick. That's take your yardstick and that way you can kind of get it to where it's flush, a little more flush. Hold it that way. See, you're not going to just get it right until the clay dries and you're able to actually mold it. But I can at least press this down and get it kind of flat. Like I said, I want to come back in and mold this with actual fiberglass. Get the basic shape that I want from here. And then, yeah, we'll go from there. And then we can bond to a mold. So, okay. More water right through there. Pretty flat until we get right down into here. Use it to kind of cut. There we go. It's pretty close. Rough shape. Not perfect. And then fold it this way a little bit. Put a little bit right up in here. Gotta move it up right there where I got my seam. Okay. You don't want to use too much water because then it becomes too flimsy. Like I said, there's absolutely no way until you get actual hard clay. That actual modeling clay, and we can let it set up and dry, and we can get a little bit closer that way too. But like I said, I'm just going to get the basic shape, and then from the basic shape is when I'm going to just, like I said, I'm just going to put fiberglass over it. And fill the fiberglass section with resin, and then I'll go in and form the fiberglass because I'm better at when it's something hard. So okay, kind of like that. Come out. Press down in, hold it a little bit more, tighten it out a little bit, there we go. Some people like to use styrofoam, whatever floats your boat. So, okay, so from end to end it's about 19. Ooh, it's pretty close. Pretty close, not bad for just eyeballing it. Okay. My hands just a little moist and wet. Come out and push down. I had less clay on this side for some reason than that pack had a little more clay for some reason. I don't know why. Kind of weird. Got a little too dry on here. Try to get that one a little more wet on that corner there. There we go. Okay. I want it to come out a little bit further. Yeah, I want it to come out further out. Come on. There we go. Took me about 2 blocks of clay for this. Something like that. And on the form, kind of like that. Okay. $32.5. Okay. It goes down to about 32. This end needs to come up a little bit. Two, 32.5, 2, 2. Pretty close. Pretty close. Really close. Let's see here. All right, I'm liking it. Let me wash my hands and I'll show you. All right, so here it is. I think that's gonna look really, really nice there. Like I said, just subtle, but a little more beefier, comes up a little bit more, comes up about, you know, about just a ½ inch. Kind of gives it that little, like I said, a little more modern look to it. Like I said, very, very, very rough with the clay. I'm not very good at clay. You know, I kind of like, this is how I wanted it. I wanted it to come up and then do its own little thing to make it look like it's its own little spoiler, you see. So, on both sides, that way it comes up. I think that's going to look really, really good. So we'll let that dry a little bit. And I think I need some more resin anyway, so I'll run and go grab some resin. And yeah, I'll take the spoiler off, set it on I'll set up a table. And yeah, we'll get that going. See, a lot of people have their spoilers come way, way high. I'm you know, with the side fenders and everything sticking out, you know, I want it a little more aggressive, but nothing too extreme, you know, because I think though the people that, you know, the ones that they build are just way too high. So, you know, like I said, this is just a rough, very, very rough setup for a mold. I'm not going for perfection right off the bat, because I am going to come back through and you're going to see, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to build the mold that goes over this, disconnect the mold, okay, and then fill in, you know, the back side, and then that way I can sand and get to wherever I need. I can form it how I want. And it's actually going to be in 2 pieces, because I'm going to cut it off right here eventually, because I won't need that center part, because that's going to be part of the original car. So this kind of gives you an idea. Looks better in real life than on what I'm trying to catch on camera. So from what I'm looking, I'm like going, okay, that's how I want it. You know, sometimes you just can't catch things on the camera very well. So, because it's, well, for one, it's white, but yeah. Like I said, just a little extreme, nothing crazy. So, what do you guys think? I think this is going to be a great, especially from this angle, it looks really good, you know. And like I said, I can come in with Bondo and whatever else to make my actual fiberglass piece or whatever, and then fiberglass it in. But not perfect by any means. I need to work on this a little bit more though before I fiberglass it. So I want that a little bit more smooth, a little more, where we can figure it out. Like right up in here, I need to fix that a little bit. So could have went with different clay, but this is all they had. It's gonna work. So okay, here we go. And then I haven't done anything else to the car. I've driven it a few times. I'm not going to be be doing a whole lot until after Christmas and New Year's. So, you know, so I just had a little extra time today. This only took like a few hours to get that clay down and kind of get an idea what it's going to look like. So I'm happy with the initial form. I like how it just kind of comes out a little bit more, a little bit thicker. And yeah, so once that's all painted and everything, it'll look real nice. All right, I've yapped enough. So let's get back to it. Okay, so what I did is I put tape over that clay, and then that way it'll not adhere to the clay or anything like that, and I'll have that mold that's underneath. So now I could just put the fiberglass on top of there, and this tape acts as my releasing agent and I could just pull up right off. It'll pop off once it hardens. So now I'm just going to take some of the fiberglass, dab it on, and work it around all the way around, and create my little spoilers. Oh, excuse me. And create my little spoilers here, and then from there I'll go maybe 3 or 4 layers of fiberglass, and then I can really shape them once I got the form. So this would be real close. So this is where it meets down to the body, and right down in here, down into the body. So it should be really, really close to begin with anyway. So once we get it back on the car, and then we can start reshaping it, you know, once it's closer on the car. So all right, so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm a little low on battery, so I'm just gonna go ahead and do it. I've showed you before. You just take the brush, dab it on, you know, cut out pieces, dab, 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 and just make your, you know, your mold. So that's what we're gonna do, and go from there. And I'll show you what the final product looks like after I get it all fiberglassed. Okay, so we got one done. We'll let that sit a little bit, and then I gotta cut up the other sheet, fiberglass sheet, and then we'll start working on this one. So yeah, that one's all glassed in. That one should be pretty sturdy. You know, sturdy enough that's like 3 or 4 you know, strands or coats, or however you want to say. So, and then we can shape them better that way, and that should be able to go pretty much right on the car. The mold should fit fairly well. We'll find out. If not, like I said, I can still do other things and go from there. All right, let's finish up this side. Okay, we got both of them done. Where the temperature's not too hot. You know, it's actually fairly cold, and it's supposed to get down to like 50s on Friday. So this is going to take probably a couple of days for the resin to set up. So we'll just let it sit. I'll move it over in the corner, get it out of the way. But yep, we'll just let it sit, and we'll come back in like 4 or 5 days. All right, that's it for now. Now you kind of got an idea of what the spoiler is going to look like, and yeah. So thanks, guys, once again, and I don't think I'll probably get around actually to doing anything until probably after the New Year's. So just a heads up. All right, once again, thanks, guys.